Indianapolis, please do. And this is what our Twitter page looks like now. We're up to 15.9K likes. We joined in June 2012. In 2 years, we got to about 6,000. And now we're more than doubled that. Again, we provide everyday weather information, warning information when we can, and we will interact with you. If you want to tweet to our office, somebody right now, I imagine they may not get back to you immediately, but probably within 1 or 2 hours, somebody will send a tweet back to you and say, oh, this is answering your question, or whatever the case may be. During severe weather, they'll probably answer it within like a few minutes as soon as they get the answer to your question, because we're sitting there monitoring it very closely. There's another social media thing out there for government accounts called Measured Voice, and they rank all the government tweets each day. And believe it or not, in all of the government and all the government agencies, like NASA and NOAA and Department of Commerce, and you think of Senate offices and government agencies, all that sort of thing, the Weather Service tends to get up there quite a bit. And on this day, this was January 2014, we issued a high wind warning, and it was the 7th biggest tweet out of the government, and we reached 32,000 people. So we also incorporate these tweets and information into issuing warnings. One night I was working overnight, and I got a tweet from this reporter in Indianapolis, and they were down there covering some floodwaters and water over the roadway. So he sends out this picture to me, and I go, wow, it's rained a lot. And this is near one of our creeks and streams. And I was able to issue a flood warning. And this is what happened at that creek and stream here. This is the hydrograph. And you can see how that water went, the creek level went up high. I was able to issue a flood warning. Hopefully people were able to take action to get out of the flood waters, avoid driving into flood waters. Department of Public Works put up barricades so people don't drive their cars into floodwaters. So again, sharing that information, letting us know what's going on so we can get the warnings out and prevent things from happening. Sometimes with Facebook and Twitter, we do get swamped with a lot of inquiries about the same thing, but we also are allowed to get the word out about what's going on to a lot of numbers, a lot of big people, a lot of numbers, as you can see in the presentation that I've shown you so far. So again, this is another example. That we had, in one case, a couple years ago, there was a private weather service, a private small company, and they decided to put out a tweet. They have a bunch of followers themselves, that we were going to get 20 to 30 inches of snow, which that would be a crazy snowfall for Indiana, just ridiculous. And because they put out that tweet, a lot of people started calling our office, saying, are we going to get 20 to 30 inches of snow? Are we going to get, and we're answering this phone call again and again and again. So finally, we said, hey, we're sending out a tweet to everybody. We're not getting 20 to 30 inches of snow. It's improbable. It's too early to make that call. We don't agree with it. And this jumped out, and we got 7,000 people commenting on that. Okay, thanks for that information. And then we stopped the phone calls and got our forecasters back doing what they need to be doing on analyzing the storm. So here's another example. That same tweet went out on Facebook and Twitter. 50,000 reach. So how can you work with us? Well, tweet to us at the National Weather Service at Indianapolis. Of course, that's going to go right to us. We're always looking for vital information. It helps us to warn the public. Photos are great. Mark showed you a lot of photos of stuff that we look at. You get photos like that, and then we can also pass those photos on. One of the photos that was very helpful during the March 17th event was the photo of the Starbucks that's near Lebanon in Boone County. That was struck by a tornado. When we took that picture and retweeted it, people saw that and said, hey, I know where that is. Wow, there's tornadoes near me. I better take action. And some of them would retweeted it to people who might be in the path or in the area. They checked on their neighbors. They took action to keep people safe. I will note that, how many tornadoes did we have that day?
The state, I thought, had 30, right?
All right, it's something like that. Let's say the state had 30. In an average year, Indiana averages 20 tornadoes over the course of a whole year. All right? So on that day, the state had 30, and with 30 tornadoes going through the state that day, no deaths. No deaths. So that's a really, really good thing. And part of that is the communication and people taking action. So how else? When you report to us, you've got to think like a reporter. Think of the W words, the what you saw, where are you, when did it happen. If you have a tornado report, you can always call us toll free. Somebody will answer that number all the time. You can always help us reach more people by retweeting our posts, liking, sharing our information. And we don't say to rely on social media as your primary source. Your primary source should probably be weather radio or local media. Ideally, we want you to have multiple sources. You know, one source is your cell phone, like Mark was saying, because you're going to get tornado warnings on your cell phone, provided you have emergency alerts turned on. All right, so make sure you do that. But then have your cell phone, have your TV, have a radio, have multiple ways to get that warning information, because you never know when one of them might go out. Because if the cell phone tower gets struck by a tornado, well, you're not going to get that cell phone alert.